Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to this new live stream. I hope the volume is okay. Maybe I can. Okay, now it's a little bit higher. Hello, moms. So, yeah, today it's kind of a weird live stream, special live stream. Because yeah, I decided to do it because I wanted to talk a little bit about my projects and the reason why, for example, I disappeared a little bit from from this live streams routine. Um, uh, Also, thank you, moms. Um, yeah, the fact is that obviously I have a job and my job take me a lot of time. And since I'm working, in the art and entertaining field, basically my my shifts are usually in the afternoon and in the evening and in the late night, and they are changing week by week, depending, of course, on what we have at work. So yeah, I find really difficult to balance the energies between my job that allows me to to pay my bills and live streamings. um I I actually I miss a little bit the fact that there is some sort of routine also in the live streams, so having a weekly schedule with that day you have that thing that happens, and the other one you have that one, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, I discovered in this last months, in this last 2 months and a half, that is super difficult for me to balance everything, um, and to save the energy also for my my mental and physical health. So yeah, that's basically the main reason why I stopped streaming in August, and why I stopped streaming in June also. Um, the other reason, obviously, is because I want to create some interesting contents, and in my for my standards, they have to be. Uh, they have to have a certain quality, so they need preparation. They need, if I'm contacting people, like for example in the contemporary music talks, I need to organize with them, and to to find the right spot. Everyone has their own business to manage, so of course it's not easy, and it's difficult also to to have a precise schedule about this kind of things, and also, of course, since my shifts at my job changes every week, it's difficult to have a fixed schedule, and also sometimes it's also different to have the right time to prepare the contents that I want to do in the channel. um, yes, resting and taking breaks is super important. And of course, I have also some kind of social life, and relationships and other projects, friendships, etc., etc., etc. So, since we have just 24 hours per day and a certain amount of energies, it's super difficult to, you know, to find the right balance between everything. In these last 2 years, I dedicated a lot of my time and my energies, and also money sometimes, to the live streaming and to the content creation on the internet, because I think it's a good goal. For me, at least, it's a good goal to find a way to bring contemporary music and contemporary music topics to a wider audience. And through the internet and live streaming, I think there is some possibilities in this sense. Uh, yeah, I'm super happy to do what I do on the internet with live streamings and interviews and listening sessions, etc., etc., etc. Because yeah, it's I think it's a good goal, to create a connection between this music that can sound difficult and not easy to digest, to take a wider audience a little bit closer to the ideas and the topics of this kind of music that are, for me, really fascinating and also really important sometimes. Also for the interaction between us and the world. Like, for example, a couple of days ago, last week, we lost Murray Schaffer, who was one of the greatest composer and thinker and philosopher and writer of contemporary music. He was the one that started the World Soundscape Project and the whole acoustic ecology idea. So yeah, it's super important for me to bring all these topics to a wider audience, because they are related not only to our little niche of experimental music, but they can be a gateway to something else, to a wider comprehension and understanding of the world, also not related to music, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, I'm super happy to do this kind of work, and I want to do it more and more. And I'm thinking, of different formulas, of different ways of approaching it. Of course, even if I cannot dedicate myself all the time to it. So yeah, sorry, I have a couple of notes here because, of course, I wanted to say a lot of stuff today. So yeah, probably in the next months, I will be streaming for sure. I will be streaming, but there won't be any schedule. So if you want to be updated and to discover the contents, you will probably like to follow me on the socials, because on the socials, on Facebook and Instagram, I post all the news and updates, and when there is that live stream with that guest, or that live stream again with another one, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, there won't be any schedule, any precise schedule, weekly schedule or monthly schedule. I will try to do like more concentrated type of live streams. So, one live stream per week, maybe. That's my goal, my aim. I don't know if I will be able to get there, but the idea is to have at least one live stream per week, and it has to be an interesting live stream with a lot of stuff going on in it. So yeah, that's my goal for the next month. So won't you don't have to expect a weekly schedule with, on Monday there is this thing, on Tuesday there is this thing, on Friday there is this one. So yeah, the better way to discover when these live streams will be is to follow me on the socials. So you'll be updated about everything. I'm thinking and I'm working to organize this new format based on travels. Since I started streaming at the beginning March 2020 with the first lockdown here in Italy. And of course, it was a way of doing something with my time, something useful and interesting with my time in a difficult situation. Um, it was, we were in a lockdown, so we were stuck at home. Now that it's a little bit easier to move, I decided to bring this idea of live streaming outside. So the next format that I'm working on will be a traveling series of live streams. I will visit many musicians and contemporary artists, interview them and play with them in different places. At the beginning here in Italy, obviously, and maybe in the future also outside of Italy. So yeah, I think this is a super interesting way to create this, this this idea of live streaming is not only, me and myself in a room, but it's more a way to connect people, and that's another one of the goals that I wanted to reach with this kind of work of content creation on the internet, to connect people and to be able to create a sort of web of relationships and of connections between contemporary artists and musicians and the audience. So yeah, that's one of the things that will happen very soon, starting from September. I don't have any precise date nowadays, but obviously, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you will be updated about everything. Um, Another thing that I wanted to say is that obviously all the work that I do is basically for free. So, I'm spending my money, investing them in cameras, for example, or equipment. I recently bought a new computer for doing live stream outside, so laptop, because I've never owned a laptop before, and yeah, this idea of doing live streams outside and going to, to meet different contemporary artists outside, it fascinates me a lot. So yeah, I bought a new laptop, and so yeah, I'm investing all my time, energies, and money to create all this content. So of course, if you want to support my work, there are many different ways. You can subscribe to this Twitch channel, or you can go on my Patreon and support me there. All the links are here, down here somewhere. And of course, there is my music on Bandcamp, and I'm releasing. I released a new album like at the beginning of this month, at the beginning of August, and yeah. At first, I decided to keep it there for just one day, but then it went really well, and a lot of people liked it. So I decided to keep it there for 1 week, and then of course it was a super nice work, and I decided why not to leave it there forever on my Bandcamp page. So yeah, alterations in metal structures. It's available on my Bandcamp, and you can find it there forever. So, of course, another way to support my work is to go there, listen to the music, and if you have a couple of bucks to spend to buy some records, both in digital and physical format. So, yeah. Thank you, Mums. Thank you. Yeah, I'm talking a little bit about the future of the channel, of the Twitch channel, and of the live streams, obviously. But of course, there is more going on. I'm not working just on this thing, besides of my job, obviously. I'm working also on other projects. Like, for example, the main one in this moment is Trou Electronique. Trou Electronique is a collective of radical improvisation with six musicians, one video maker, some actors, etc., etc. It's a huge collective, and yeah, in these days we are releasing a new video series and a documentary about our process and how radical improvisation works. And yeah, the idea is to share our rehearsal, which are not rehearsals, are real performances, because since we are working with free improvisation, everything that happens just one time and happens in that moment. And yeah, it's something unique that of course can be lost, but we are trying to record everything every time that we meet, and to also to we have an amazing video maker that shots all the videos of all our sessions. So yeah, we are now releasing the first videos of this new series called Universo. um, Moms, you saw the first one probably a couple of days ago. It was released on Friday, so 2 days ago. We are releasing a new video every Friday for 1 month, and then we are going to release the full documentary about our last recording session and improvisation session. So if you like this kind of stuff and you are curious about it, you can go. Maybe I can make. Let me check. Yeah, here you have the Bandcamp page of Trou Electronique, and yeah, the work is called Universo. It's this one. It's this one. And yeah, we also have a YouTube channel, as you can see. I'm gonna link. Yeah, hello Laserbolt, and thank you for the sub. Thank you very much. So yeah, if you're interested in radical improvisation and in entering the process of creating music, iket nunc, I like to say in Latin. So here and in this moment, um, yeah, I strongly suggest you to follow Trou Electronique on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube, because we are releasing, as I said, one video every Friday, and also a full documentary about our last improvisation session. I think in 1 month or so. So of course, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, don't forget to follow the Trou Electronique out there. um, Thank you for the 4 months, Laserbolt. It's super appreciated. So another thing that I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm working a lot on the Trou Electronique project in these weeks, because of course I'm not working only on the music and producing it. So the tracks that you will listen to are mixed and mastered by me. Um, but also I'm working on the videos, doing storyboards for the documentary, and working with the video maker in the editing moments. So there is a lot of stuff going on. I'm working on the socials, releasing all the clips, the video clips, etc., etc., etc. So doing a lot of stuff concerning the Trou Electronique project. So yeah, of course, if you want to see my work in a my backstage work, you can follow Trou Electronique, because I think it's a very interesting project and I'm super happy to be part of it. So yeah, I think I said everything. Oh, how do you find enough hours in the day? I don't know, man. uh, that's a good question. I don't really know actually because yeah, sometimes it's really tough, and that's why I stopped the streaming in August and in June also, because of course it's super difficult to find the right balance between your energies, the time that you have during the days, and of course all the thing that you have to do, like for example going to work. Uh, so yeah, and that's also the reason why I don't know if you heard at the beginning of the live stream, but yeah, I said in the beginning that um, probably in the next months there won't be any specific schedule for the live streams, but I'm working on a new series of traveling live streams. So I will go and meet contemporary musicians and artists and talk with them for the serious contemporary music talks. But it will be a different format because it will be expanded and there will be not only talks but also sessions, improvisation session with them. So they are a sort of mixture between a contemporary music talk and a concert. So yeah, uh, to be updated about this new format, I strongly suggest you to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, where I publish all the news and the updates. When you love something enough, you find a way. Yeah, yeah. The pop up streams will be fun. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so also because I have a couple of very interesting artists for the next live streams. So stay tuned. Anyway, after all these talks, I spoke for like half an hour, which I think is probably enough. um, I can maybe play something just to, make a little break from speaking that much. And again, thanks everyone for your support. It's amazing, and it's also, you know, it's also the main reason why I do all this kind of work. Because yeah, the goal, as I said, is to create connections between us, between music, contemporary music, experimental music, and their topics, and the audience and the musicians and the listeners, because of course contemporary music, it's not just a commercial product. It's something else that can give us some keys to open some doors to understand our world. So yeah, thanks everyone for your support. It's really amazing. Let's play something. I spoke too much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to all the people that tuned in. Also, I was not reading the chat, but I will take a look at it right now. Um, if someone wants to give me a gateway to electronic music, it has to be harsh noise. I totally agree. Well, for me, it was sort of the gateway to electronic music because, yeah, basically, before that, I was into, metal music and black metal, death metal, doom metal, all this kind of stuff. And then when I was, I think it was when I was 15, 16, there was this sort of event with bands from my school, from my yeah, from my school, and one of the bands was not a band, it was an harsh noise project with two guys playing with the mixers and tape loops and contact microphones, and I was shocked by that experience so much that I decided this is what I love. So yeah, it was my gateway to electronic music was actually harsh noise. um, Thanks everyone. It's pretty awesome when you have your house tuck you in at night and Andre do it in the morning. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I saw that your house were streaming a super cool concert last night. Obviously, when they stream, I'm always in bed because it's like 3, 4 a.m. my time. So unfortunately, I cannot attend to those live streams. But yeah, I know that they are doing a great job also to share music and to share contemporary artists and musicians on the internet. So yeah, tune in also at your house channel. It's I think you can find it somewhere, probably here on Twitch. No input mixer meaning. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mams, I forgot to answer you at the beginning of the live stream. No input mixer, what does it mean? So, a mixer is usually it's used to mix the audio of different sources and blend them into a two stereo, usually two stereo channel PA. Most of the times, obviously there are different configurations, but yeah, that's basically the basis of a mixer. It's used to mix the signals of different sources, and yeah, it's in this way it's a sort of passive instrument, so you use it but it doesn't produce sound on its own. No input means that you are using a mixer without any input. So there are no input sources to create sound, but it's just a matter of feedback created inside of the mixer circuitry. So no input, it's just because you are creating sound without using any external input sources. Um, for making this thing, you just connect the outputs to the inputs of the mixer and then feed the signal back to the outputs again. Um, every circuitry has this background noise, which is caused by the electrons that are moving into the circuitry, even if the circuit is, you know, it's not used in that moment. And creating this feedback loop amplifies the signal of this background noise and transforms it into sound, into a tone. Um, so So yeah, exactly. What you heard and what I usually play, it's basically feedback. I'm playing feedback, the thing that you want to avoid in every in every live situation. Well, I'm using it as a musical instrument. Yeah, I have the feedback emoticon there, also created for Twitch. Um, so yeah, everything that you heard, it's comes from this mixer. In this setup, I'm using 3 mixers. Um, most of them are taken from the trash or used one, half broken. Um, so there is also this idea behind, for me at least, there is this idea behind no input mixing techniques, that it's something that is not connected to the, to the to the consumerism. You can use broken instruments that have not that cannot be used for that original purpose, and you can find them for super cheap or even for free if they are thrown away in the trash. And you can use them to create electronic music. So there is also this idea of you know going in a different direction from buy and consume and follow the new trend of electronic instrument that now it's a huge market. That one, we have like big companies that are working out there. And for me there is also this if you want ecological and also uh, not classist meaning behind no input mixing, because of course you can make no input music even if you don't have money. You just need to look for a broken mixer and use it. So yeah, it's for everyone, not only for the ones who can afford it. um, Refurbish and recycle, exactly. Give new life to something that apparently has no life in that moment. So there is also this idea of recycling behind it. Yeah, I think it's really interesting on many different levels. Another level that I consider very interesting in input mixing techniques is, for example, that you need to work with improvisation techniques, because of course this interface, these knobs, these faders are not meant to create feedback or to control feedback. They accidentally controls your feedbacks inside of the mixer, but they are not made for that purpose. So obviously every time you move a knob, you get a result, but the time after probably it won't be the same. So obviously, you need to be prepared to improvise. So improvisation is really at the core of no input mixing techniques. And of course, there is also this strong relationship between the machine and the human performer. So obviously, you are controlling the machine or the machine is controlling you. You are interacting with the machine like it's an you know a creature that has its own will, and you need to find a way to use it for your communication goals, making music, making sound, making art. Um, hello, hello, Duncan Bioya. Welcome. So yeah, that's also it, that's one another one of the reasons why I really like this type of work with this electronic instrument. Since we are speaking about electronic music, there is a lot of I think there is a lot of focus more on the more on the surface, but in no input mixing techniques, I think there are more, you know, uh, more stuff under the surface. There are more meanings, there are more concepts, more ideas, and they are not connected just to the use of the instrument, just to the consumerism about the instruments. That yeah, of course, it's part of our daily life as uh, musicians. Um, so yeah, a lot of stuff going on in no input mixing techniques, at least in my opinion. Uh, for me, the conceptual part of this kind of music it's very important. It's probably more important than the result itself, because yeah, it allows you to think to the world, to sound, to music, and to communication, to art in a different way. Yeah. My accidental forays into no input was with unplugged guitar cables into an amp with the field feedback of my thumb and conductivity of different things. Yeah, yeah, that's probably I think also my first approach of for this kind of stuff because of course you unplug your. I started playing guitar when I was 13, and yeah, yeah, I made a lot of stuff with just the thumb on the cable. Of course, this is another way of doing it, but there are many ways. For example, there is acoustic feedback. Acoustic feedback can be used a lot. A friend of mine, Francesco, who is also in the Trou Electronique project, and he also plays no input mixers into that project. I also play no input mixers in that project. Um, for his, I think for his degree in contemporary music. He's a conservatory student. He worked with acoustic feedback into solid materials. So he used contact microphones and transducers on a surface, like for example a wood table, and create feedback inside of the of the solid matter. So there are many different ways of using feedbacks, and yeah, it's really a world that needs to be explored. Like for example, another example of acoustic feedbacks is I'm Sitting in a Room by Albin Lucier. I made a performance in a live stream like 3 months ago about it. Um, I'm Sitting in a Room is basically this piece where there is a performer that speaks and tells this lyric written by Albin Lucier itself, and he records the sound of his voice and then plays back the recording and record it again until the resonant frequencies of the room reinforce themselves. In that way, the original sound, the voice, the words disappears and they become pure sound, and they are a metaphor, not only symbolic metaphor, but also a physical metaphor of the space where the performer sits and speaks. So yeah, there are many different type of different feedbacks and many different ways of using them. Um, Sorry. I could send you a second link to. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Send me the links. I'm always happy to listen to new stuff. Uh, it was crazy how after a while your thoughts seem to be creating sounds, like you sense what is coming. Have you ever had that hairy feeling of prediction or premonition? Oh, well, it's. I need to think about it, but yeah, sometimes maybe. Following the thread of your thoughts is always an interesting operation. Especially, well, in this case, I'm also speaking not in my native language, so it's even stranger, weirder for me. But yeah, it happens sometimes. You can find yourself in a different place, really, sometimes. Anyway, yeah. Mm, I see that there are more people that in the beginning of the live stream, so I'm going to do a little recap about the things that will happen on this channel soon. So there won't be any precise schedule for the next month, but I strongly suggest you to follow Instagram and Facebook, my profiles, so you will be updated about all the new live streams. I'm preparing a new series of traveling live streams where I will go to meet different contemporary artists and musicians, talk with them, have interviews and talks, and also play with them. So my goal is to have one of them per week, but we'll see. If you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you will be updated about everything, of course. Follow also this channel. Um, Almost sensing what's next, but it's hard to tell what is cause and what is effect. Yeah, it's only in the present, basically. There are no real cause and effects relationship between thoughts in this kind of situation, I guess. It's just following the present. Anyway, and also another thing that I want to say, it's don't forget to follow Trou Electronique. I'm working a lot with this collective. You can find our work on Bandcamp, and we are releasing a video series about our last meeting, our last recording session, and a full documentary in the next month. So yeah, every Friday there is a new video out on our YouTube channel, Trou Electronique. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope to see you very very soon. Yeah, let's play one last improvisation, and then yeah, we will say hello. Thanks everyone. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And yeah, I hope to see you very, very soon. Yeah, let me read the chat. Um, I think I will try some goofing around with the interface and Do today to see what I can learn. Mams and Andrea always get me. Okay, with your interface, I don't think you can. Well, you can make feedbacks, but I think some of them have some sort of protections against this kind of accidents. Accidents. Um, so yeah, I've never tried with an audio interface to do it actually. Um but of course, if you want to try this kind of stuff, I strongly suggest you to go. I don't know, in a used thrift store, use the things market, and look, for example, for those cheap DJ mixers, those one with only the RCA outputs, all and this kind of stuff. They are super interesting, and sometimes they can create very interesting feedbacks. Uh, Most of the time, at least here in my area, they don't cost that much. Or also, of course, you can go and hope to find some musicians, friends that throws away some half broken mixer that he doesn't or she doesn't want to repair, for example. That's my main suggestion if you want to start, experimenting with feedbacks and input mixers. Um, um, I have a goal of recording a multi-track with different instruments that I don't even care about what it sounds like. Just getting used to where. Okay, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone, and see you very soon. Check Instagram and Facebook if you want to be updated about the next live streams. There will be more in September. So, again, have a nice day, take care, and stay safe. Bye bye, everyone.